My name is Elise Carver. I was 32 when it all began. The world saw me as a woman who had everything: a loving husband, a beautiful home, a life polished to perfection. But mirrors lie. They show only what you want to see, and my mirror was cracked long before I noticed. It was a Tuesday morning, the kind of morning where the sun feels too bright, too cruel. I stood in our kitchen pouring coffee into Michael's favorite mug, the one with the chipped handle he refused to throw away. He said it had character. I thought it was just broken, like so many things I ignored. Michael breezed in, his tie loose, his smile effortless. "Morning, love," he said, kissing my forehead. His lips felt cold, or maybe I was imagining it. I handed him the coffee, watching his hands. Strong hands, hands that built our life together, hands that, lately, seemed to slip away from mine. "You're quiet today," he said, glancing at his phone. I forced a smile. "Just tired," I lied. He didn't look up. He never did anymore. The silence between us wasn't new. It had crept in like damp rot, unnoticed until it was everywhere. We'd been married for 8 years. 8 years of laughter, fights, promises. 8 years of building a life I thought was unbreakable. Michael was my anchor, my safe harbor. But harbors can hide storms. And I was about to drown. That afternoon, I found it. A receipt, tucked in the pocket of his gray blazer, the one he wore to client dinners, a restaurant I'd never heard of, 2 glasses of wine, a dessert we never shared. My stomach twisted. It wasn't proof. Not yet. But it was a crack, a fissure in the perfect life I'd built in my head. I didn't confront him. Not then. I wasn't ready to break the mirror. Instead, I watched. I became a detective in my own marriage. Every late night, every vague excuse, every glance at his phone. I cataloged them, stored them like weapons I wasn't sure I'd use. Weeks passed. The receipt wasn't alone, a text I glimpsed before he locked his phone. "Miss you already." A woman's name. Claire. It burned into my mind. Claire. Who was she? What did she have that I didn't? I started digging, quietly, carefully. I checked his emails when he slept, his calendar when he showered. I found her. Claire Beaumont. Blonde, radiant, 26. A junior partner at his firm. Her LinkedIn photos smiled at me like a taunt. Her life was a curated gallery of success and charm. I hated her. I hated myself more for caring. One night, I couldn't hold it in. We were at dinner, a rare evening together. The restaurant was dim, romantic, a mockery of what we'd become. "Michael," I said, my voice steady. He looked up, surprised. I rarely spoke first lately. "Who's Claire?" His fork paused midair. A flicker in his eyes. Guilt? Fear? "Claire," he repeated like it was a foreign word. "From work, why?" His voice was too smooth, too practiced. I pushed harder. "I saw her name on your phone." He laughed, a hollow sound. "Oh, Elise, come on. She's just a colleague. You're being paranoid." Paranoid? The word stung. It made me small. It made me doubt. But I wasn't wrong. I knew it in my bones. That night he slept soundly. I didn't. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. My heart was a war drum. I wasn't paranoid. I was awake, and I was done pretending. The next morning I followed him. It felt absurd, like I was in a movie, but desperation makes you bold. I trailed his car to a cafe downtown. Not his usual spot. He didn't see me. I parked across the street, my hands shaking, and there she was. Claire. She slid into the booth across from him. Her laugh carried through the glass. His hand brushed hers. Not an accident, not a colleague. I didn't cry. Not then. Tears are for the broken. I wasn't broken yet. I was angry. Anger is sharper. It cuts through the fog. It gives you purpose. I went home. I poured a glass of wine. I sat at our dining table, the one we picked out together, and I planned. Not revenge, not yet. I planned to know, to understand, to see how deep the cracks ran. I hired a private investigator. His name was Daniel. Gruff, older, no nonsense. He didn't ask why. He just took my money and my pain. "Give me a week," he said. I gave him 2. I wanted everything, every lie, every secret. Daniel delivered photos, emails, hotel receipts, Michael and Claire, tangled in a life I wasn't part of. 6 months. That's how long it had been. 6 months of lies while I cooked his dinners, 6 months of betrayal while I slept beside him, 6 months of her while I was still his wife. I didn't confront him, not yet. I wasn't ready to shatter the mirror, but I was ready to sharpen my edges. I started small. I joined a gym. I bought new clothes. I smiled more, even when it hurt. I wanted him to notice. I wanted him to wonder. He did. "You look different," he said one night. I shrugged. "Just taking care of myself." He frowned. He wasn't used to me being elusive. Good. Let him squirm. I started going out, book clubs, art classes, places where I could breathe, places where I wasn't just Michael's wife. I met people. I laughed again. I remembered who I was before him, Elise, not the shadow he'd made me. But I didn't forget. Every night I looked at Daniel's photos. Every night I fed my anger. It wasn't enough to leave him. Leaving was weak. Leaving was surrender. I wanted more. I wanted him to feel what I felt. I wanted him to break. I found my weapon. Not a knife, not a scene. Information. Claire wasn't just his mistress. She was ambitious, ruthless. Daniel dug deeper. She was using Michael, his connections, his influence. She wanted his life, not his heart. I almost pitied him. Almost. But pity is for fools. And I was done being foolish. I started planting seeds, small ones. A whispered rumor at his firm's gala. A misplaced email to his boss. Nothing traceable, nothing obvious. Just enough to make Claire's shine flicker. Michael came home tense. "Work's a mess," he said. I nodded, sympathetic. Inside, I smiled. The cracks were spreading, not just in my mirror, in his world, and I was just getting started. I woke up different, not healed, not whole, but sharp, like a blade honed by pain. The mirror didn't scare me anymore. I saw the cracks. I owned them. Michael left early that morning. Another client meeting. I didn't flinch. I sipped my coffee, black, no sugar. It matched my mood, bitter, strong, ready. I opened my laptop. Daniel's latest report waited in my inbox. More photos, more lies. Claire and Michael at a rooftop bar, her hand on his arm, his smile too wide. I didn't cry. I studied. Every angle, every detail. Knowledge was my armor now. Claire wasn't just a fling. Daniel's notes confirmed it. She was a climber, ambitious, calculating. She didn't love Michael. She loved his power, his network, his name. I almost laughed. He thought he was playing her. She was playing him. And I was about to play them both. I started small. I had to. Big moves leave footprints. I called Sarah, an old friend from college. She worked in PR, knew everyone. "Elise," she said, her voice warm. "It's been too long." I smiled through the phone. "Let's fix that." We met for lunch, a chic bistro downtown, glass walls, linen napkins, the hum of important people. Sarah hugged me tight. "You look different," she said. I shrugged. "Just waking up." She raised an eyebrow but didn't push. Good. I needed her trust, not her questions. Over salad and sparkling water, I steered the conversation. Casual, light. Then a name. "Claire Beaumont," I said like it was nothing. "Ever heard of her?" Sarah's eyes lit up. Gossip was her currency. "Oh, Claire? Rising star at Michael's firm. Bit of a shark, they say." I leaned in. "Really? Tell me more." Sarah spilled. Claire was brilliant, ruthless, charmed her way into big deals, whispers of corner cutting. Nothing proven, nothing concrete, but enough to make my pulse quicken. A shark. Perfect. Sharks bleed too. I didn't push too hard, didn't want Sarah suspicious. I tucked her words away. Like bullets in a chamber, I'd fire them later. When the moment was right. That night, I went to the gym. Not for Michael. For me. I ran until my lungs burned, lifted until my arms shook. Sweat washed away the old Elise, the one who waited, the one who hoped. I was building someone new, someone dangerous. Michael noticed. He came home late, smelling of whiskey. "You're up," he said, surprised. I was in yoga pants, hair damp. "Couldn't sleep," I said. He looked at me. Really looked. "You're different," he said again. I smiled, cool, distant. "Good." He frowned. He didn't like it. I did. I started going out more, not to escape, to expand. Book clubs, galleries, charity events, places where power gathered, places where I could learn. I met people, not friends, allies. Every smile was a step, every handshake, a weapon. One night I met Julian, a fundraiser for some arts foundation, gold chandeliers, black ties, champagne flutes. He stood apart, watching the crowd, tall, sharp cheekbones, eyes like steel. He caught me staring. I didn't look away. He walked over. "Elise, right?" he said. I tilted my head. "You know me?" He smiled, slow, knowing. I make it my business to know interesting people. Julian Kane, 40, divorced, a venture capitalist, rich, connected, untouchable. We talked, not about Michael, not about pain, about art, ambition, the world. He saw me, not the wife, not the shadow, me. I liked it. Too much. He gave me his card. "Call me," he said, "if you ever want to shake things up." I tucked it in my clutch. I didn't plan to call, not yet, but I kept it, a key to a door I hadn't opened. The next day, I went deeper. Daniel sent me Claire's schedule. She was speaking at a conference, Women in Leadership. Ironic. I bought a ticket, not to confront her, to watch, to learn her cracks. The conference was a sea of suits and ambition. I blended in, new dress, sharp heels, hair swept back. No one knew me. No one cared. I sat in the back, eyes on the stage. Claire walked out, blonde, poised, her smile a weapon. She spoke about empowerment, confidence, breaking barriers. I wanted to laugh. She was breaking my marriage. Her words were flawless, her presence magnetic. But I saw it. The flick of her eyes, the too tight grip on the podium. She was performing. And performances have seams. I took notes. Not on her speech. On her. The way she scanned the room. The way she faltered when a man in a gray suit stood up. I followed her gaze. He was older, stern, familiar. I'd seen him in Michael's photos. Richard Holt. Managing partner at their firm? Interesting. After her talk, I lingered. Not to meet her. To listen. People talk when they think no one's watching. I heard whispers. "Claire's pushing too hard. She's stepping on toes. Richard's not happy." I smiled into my coffee cup. Seeds. I could plant them. I didn't go home right away. I walked the city. The streets were alive, pulsing. I felt it too. A pulse. A purpose. I wasn't just surviving. I was hunting. When I got home, Michael was there. Rare for a Friday. He was on the couch, tie loose, glass in hand. "Long day?" I asked, casual. He grunted. "Work's a mess." I poured myself a drink, sat across from him. "Tell me," I said. He looked surprised. I hadn't asked in months. He talked. Vague at first. Then details slipped. A deal gone wrong. A client upset. Claire's name came up. "She's too aggressive," he said. "Thinks she runs the place." I nodded, sympathetic. Inside, I was electric. He was cracking. Without knowing it, he was giving me ammunition. I leaned forward. "Maybe she's not who you think," I said. "Software. Careful." He frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" I shrugged. "Just a feeling." I left it there. A seed. Let it grow. The next week I moved faster. I called Sarah again. "Need a favor," I said. She laughed. "Trouble already?" I smiled. "Something like that." I asked her to dig, not on Claire, on Richard Holt, the man who made Claire nervous. Sarah didn't ask why. She loved a challenge. She called back in 2 days. "Richard's old school," she said. "Loyalty matters to him. He doesn't like showboats." I filed it away. Claire was a showboat. I could use that. I went to another event. Michael's firm's annual gala. He didn't want me there. Said it'd be boring, he told me. I insisted. I want to support you, I said. He couldn't argue. I wore red, bold, unmissable. Heads turned when I walked in. Good. Claire was there, in black, sleek, a predator. She didn't see me at first. I watched her work the room, charming men, dismissing women. Classic. I waited. Then I moved. Not to her, to Richard Holt. He stood by the bar, alone for a moment. I smiled, warm, disarming. Mr. Holt, I said. I'm Elise Carver, Michael's wife. He blinked, surprised. Elise, pleasure. We talked, small things, the firm, the city, his golf game. Then I dropped it. Michael's lucky to have mentors like you, I said. He mentions Claire Beaumont a lot, says she's driven. I paused. Maybe too driven? Richard's eyes narrowed, just a fraction. You're perceptive, he said. I smiled, sipped my wine. Just observant. I walked away. The seed was planted. Claire saw me then, her eyes locked on mine. A flash of something. Recognition, suspicion. I raised my glass. She didn't smile back. Good. Let her wonder. Julian was there too. I didn't expect it. He found me near the dance floor. Red suits you, he said. I laughed. Trouble suits me better. He grinned. Then we'll get along. We danced, not close, not intimate, but deliberate. Michael watched. I felt his eyes. I wanted him to see. Julian wasn't a lover, not yet, maybe never. He was a chess piece, a knight, powerful if I moved him right. Over drinks he talked, his world, his deals, his enemies. One name stood out, Claire's client, a tech mogul she'd won over, a man Julian despised. I listened. I stored it. Another bullet. The gala ended late. Michael was quiet in the car. You had fun, he said. Not a question. I smiled. I did. He didn't ask about Julian. He didn't ask about Richard. But I saw it. The doubt, the crack. At home, I didn't sleep. I planned. Claire's conference speech was online now. I watched it again. Her poise, her lies. I noticed something new. A logo on her slide deck. A client's logo. The tech mogul. Julian's enemy. I cross-checked. Daniel's reports. Sarah's gossip. It clicked. The deal was shaky. Claire had oversold it. If it fell apart, she'd fall with it. I called Daniel. Dig into this, I said. Gave him the client's name, the deal's details. Find the dirt, I told him. He didn't ask why. He never did. 2 days later, he delivered. Emails, contracts, proof Claire had fudged numbers, not enough to jail her, but enough to ruin her. I didn't act yet. I waited. Timing was everything. I kept up appearances, dinners with Michael, smiles for his colleagues, but I was a ghost in our marriage, present but untouchable. He felt it. He tried harder. Flowers one night, a weekend getaway planned. I played along. Let him think I was his again. It kept him close. It kept him blind. Julian called. Coffee, he said. Not a question. I met him. A quiet cafe, far from Michael's world. He didn't waste time. You're playing a game, he said. I didn't blink. Aren't we all? He laughed. I can help, he said. Name your target. I hesitated, not because I didn't trust him, because I didn't trust myself. Claire Beaumont, I said finally. His eyes gleamed. Done. He didn't ask why, he didn't need to. He wanted the tech mogul down. Claire was collateral. We shook hands. Not friends, not lovers, partners. It felt good. It felt dangerous. The deal collapsed a week later. Not my doing. Not directly. Julian's whispers reached the right ears. The tech mogul pulled out. Claire's name was on every email, every failure. Michael came home furious. She's a liability, he said. I nodded, poured him a drink. Sounds like trouble, I said. He didn't see my smile. Claire called him that night. I heard her voice through the phone. High, panicked. He stepped outside. Thought I couldn't hear. I did. You need to fix this, she said. He argued. blamed her. I closed my eyes. The cracks were widening. Not just in her world, in theirs. I went to bed calm. The mirror was still cracked, but I wasn't hiding from it anymore. I was shaping it, bending it, making it mine. Claire was slipping, Michael was doubting, and I was just beginning. I woke to silence, the kind that screams louder than words. My bedroom felt like a battlefield, empty but heavy with ghosts. Michael was gone, his side of the bed cold, his absence a quiet taunt. I didn't care where he was, Claire's bed or some hotel. I rose, my bare feet steady on the hardwood floor. The mirror caught my reflection, sharp-edged, unyielding. No tears today, no softness left to give. I was a storm, gathering strength, ready to break. My phone buzzed, Daniel's name on the screen. "Got something big," his message read, short and grim. I dressed quickly, black blazer, white silk blouse, armor for the day. The game was moving faster now, pieces falling into place. Daniel met me at a diner, greasy spoons and cracked vinyl seats. He slid a folder across the table, his eyes unreadable. "Claire's dirty," he said, voice low. "Embezzlement. Small but sloppy. Tied to that tech deal." My pulse quickened, fingers tracing the folder's edge. Proof, hard and undeniable, of Claire's greed. Not just a mistress, not just a climber. She was a thief, and I held her leash. I didn't open the folder yet, savoring the weight of it. "How solid?" I asked, stirring my coffee. "Solid enough to bury her," Daniel replied, chewing a toothpick. "But you need to move fast." Fast meant risk, exposure, a chance for her to bite back. I wasn't afraid, not anymore. I paid him, left the diner, and walked the city streets. The air was crisp, alive, matching my clarity. Claire's fall was close, but Michael's was closer. He was the king I wanted to topple. Back home, I spread Daniel's evidence on the dining table. Bank transfers, forged emails, Claire's name everywhere. It was beautiful, a map of her ruin. But I saw more, a way to drag Michael down too. His signature was on approvals, careless, trusting. He'd signed his own noose. I poured wine, red and deep, and sat with my thoughts. Revenge wasn't enough. I wanted justice. Justice for the nights I doubted myself, for the lies I swallowed, for the woman I'd lost. Michael came home late, his tie loose, his face drawn. "Rough day?" I asked, voice honey-sweet. He grunted, tossing his keys on the counter. "You wouldn't believe it. Work's a nightmare." I smiled, offering him a glass of wine. "Tell me, maybe I can help." He hesitated, then talked. Claire's name slipped out, laced with frustration. "She's screwing everything up." I nodded, hiding my thrill, my heart a drumbeat of triumph. He was unraveling, and I was the blade. "Sounds like she's in over her head," I said, casual, planting another seed. "Maybe she's hiding something." His eyes flicked to mine, sharp, searching. "What do you mean?" he asked, voice tight.
I shrugged, sipping my wine. "Just a hunch. You're usually so careful." He didn't push, but I saw it. Doubt, creeping like ivy. I'd lit a fuse, and it was burning. That night, I lay awake, his breathing steady beside me. I didn't feel him anymore. He was a stranger. The next day, I called Julian, my knight in this twisted chess game. "I need you," I said, direct, no games. He chuckled, low and warm. "I was wondering when you'd call. Name the play." We met at his office, glass walls, city sprawling below. I handed him Claire's file, my ace. "Leak this," I said, voice steady. "Not to the press, to Richard Holt, anonymously." Julian's eyes scanned the pages, a predator's gleam. "You're ruthless," he said, almost proud. "Not ruthless," I corrected, meeting his gaze. "Righteous." He didn't argue, just nodded, already planning. "Holt will eat her alive. This is gold." I left his office lighter, the city brighter, my steps sure. The board was mine, and I was winning. But winning felt hollow, a truth I pushed down. I wasn't ready to face it yet. I went to a gallery opening that night, alone, red lipstick my war paint. I needed air, needed life. The gallery was alive, colors bleeding from canvases, voices humming with pretense. I blended in, invisible yet seen. A woman approached, older, elegant, her eyes kind but sharp. "You're Elise Carver," she said, no question. I tilted my head, cautious. "Do I know you?" I asked, scanning her face. "Margaret Voss," she replied, offering a hand. "I know your husband, and Claire Beaumont." My stomach tightened, but I kept my smile. "Small world," I said, voice smooth as silk. Margaret leaned closer, her voice a whisper. "Be careful with Claire. She's not as clever as she thinks." I froze, her words a warning, a gift. "What do you know?" I asked, low, urgent. "Enough," Margaret said, sipping her champagne. "She's crossed the wrong people. Holt's one of them." I stored her words, another piece in my puzzle. Margaret wasn't an ally, but she wasn't an enemy. We parted with a nod, my mind racing. Claire's enemies were growing, and I was their shadow. Julian worked fast. By Monday, whispers reached me. Holt had the file, and Claire was called in. Sarah texted me, gleeful. "Claire's in hot water. Big meeting with the partners today." I didn't reply, didn't need to. I pictured Claire's face, her poise cracking, her lies exposed. Michael came home that evening, pale, distracted. "Something's wrong at work," he muttered, pacing. I sat on the couch, legs crossed, calm. "Claire again?" I asked, feigning concern. He stopped, eyes narrowing. "How'd you know?" he snapped, suspicion flaring. I didn't flinch, my voice soft. "You've been talking about her a lot. It's not hard to guess." He deflated, guilt softening his edges. "It's not just her, it's the whole deal. My name's on it." I hid my smile, my heart cold. "You'll fix it," I said, a lie he wanted to hear. He didn't fix it. Holt suspended Claire pending investigation. Michael's phone buzzed all night. I met Daniel again, a park this time, leaves crunching underfoot. "She's fighting back," he warned, handing me photos. Claire leaving Holt's office, her face furious, her phone pressed to her ear. Another shot, her meeting a man, unfamiliar, rough. "Who's he?" I asked, my throat tight. Daniel shrugged, chewing his toothpick. "Not sure yet. Hired muscle, maybe, or a fixer. She's desperate." I nodded, my mind spinning. Claire wasn't done, not broken yet. I'd underestimated her claws, but I wasn't scared. I thanked Daniel, walked away, the photos burning in my bag. I needed a new move, fast. That night, I went to Julian's penthouse unannounced. He opened the door, shirt unbuttoned, surprised but pleased. "Trouble?" he asked, pouring me whiskey. I took the glass, my eyes steady. "Claire's fighting," I said, handing him the photos. "I need to know who this man is." Julian studied them, his jaw tight. "I'll find out," he promised, his voice a blade. We sat in silence, the city glittering below. I felt exposed, alive, teetering on an edge. Michael was different now, distant, snapping at small things. I played the wife, cooked dinner, smiled. But he saw through it, his eyes searching mine. "What's going on with you?" he asked, sharp. I tilted my head, innocent. "I'm here, aren't I said, dodging his truth. He didn't push, but the air was thick, trust crumbling. I didn't care. I was almost free. Julian called the next day, his voice grim. "The man's a PI, not clean. Claire's digging on you." My blood ran cold, but I laughed, bitter. "Let her dig. She'll find nothing but her own grave." Julian didn't laugh. "She's dangerous, Elise. Watch your back." I thanked him, hung up, my hands shaking. I wasn't afraid of Claire, but I felt it, a shift, a crack in my armor. I pushed it down. I went to the firm's next event, a charity auction, my dress emerald, my smile a weapon. Claire was there, cornered but defiant. She saw me, her eyes blazing, and crossed the room. "Elise," she said, her voice venom-sweet. "Claire," I replied, matching her tone, my heart steady. "Enjoying the evening?" Her smile was a knife. "You're clever, aren't you? Stirring things up behind my back." I didn't blink, my voice ice. "I don't know what you mean. I'm just Michael's wife." She leaned closer, her breath warm. "I see you, Elise. You're not invisible anymore. My pulse spiked, but I laughed, light, dismissive. Careful, Claire. Desperation doesn't suit you. She froze, her mask slipping, then turned away. I exhaled, my hands trembling, victory bitter. I found Richard Holt later, thanked him for the gala. You're a good influence, he said, approving. I smiled, humble. I just want what's best for Michael, I lied, my heart racing. Holt nodded, unaware he was my pawn. I left the auction alive, electric, unstoppable. But Claire wasn't done. She sent Michael a message, forwarded to me by mistake. Elise is playing you, it read. My stomach dropped, my fingers cold. Michael didn't reply, but I saw his face at home. Doubt, anger. Who are you talking to? He asked, catching me texting Julian. I smiled, calm, lying easy. Sarah, I said, naming my friend. Planning a girls' night. You should join us sometime. He didn't believe me, but he didn't push. The house felt smaller, walls closing in. I met Margaret Voss again, unexpected, at a cafe. You're bold, she said, her eyes knowing. Am I? I asked, sipping tea, my guard up. She leaned forward, her voice low. Claire's out for blood, she warned. But Holt's done with her. You've won that round. I nodded, grateful, uneasy. Why tell me? I asked, searching her face. Margaret smiled, cryptic. I like a good story, she said, leaving me with questions. The firm announced Claire's termination a week later. A quiet email, no fanfare. Michael was furious, blamed everyone but himself. I listened, nodded, played the wife. But inside I was soaring. She was down, and I'd done it. But victory wasn't sweet. It was heavy, a stone in my chest. I didn't recognize myself. I looked at Michael, broken, pacing, and felt nothing. No love, no hate, just emptiness. Had I gone too far? Was this me now, a woman who burned kingdoms to feel alive? I pushed the thoughts away, focused on Claire. She wasn't gone. Not yet. She'd fight. Daniel confirmed it. New photos. Claire meeting the PI again, her face hard, determined. She's planning something, he said, grim. Could be Michael, could be you. I thanked him, my mind racing. I needed to end this, to cut her off for good. I called Julian, my voice steady. One last move, I said. Make sure she can't come back. Julian delivered. A leaked email, Claire's PI tied to fraud, her name dragged deeper. Holt cut all ties. The firm blacklisted her. Michael was summoned, questioned, his role in the deal exposed. He wasn't fired yet, but he was shaken. He came home, eyes wild, voice raw. It's falling apart, he said, almost to himself. I sat across from him, calm, untouchable. You'll survive, I said, no warmth in my voice. He looked at me, really looked, and saw it, the distance, the truth. What have you done? He whispered. I didn't answer, just smiled. Faint, final. He didn't ask again, but the question hung. That night I packed a bag, small, discreet. Not leaving, not yet, but ready, just in case. I looked at the mirror, my reflection clear, cracked, but whole. I wasn't done, but I was close. Claire was fallen, Michael was crumbling, and I stood tall. But at what cost? I closed my eyes, the weight settling in. The king was falling, and I held the axe.
I stood at the edge of my life, the pieces scattered like ash. The house was silent, no longer a home, just a shell. Michael hadn't spoken to me in days, his eyes hollow, his world crumbling. I didn't pity him, not anymore. The mirror in our bedroom reflected a stranger, strong but tired, cracked but whole. I was ready to end this. Not with fire, not with ruin, but with truth sharp, final, mine. I packed my bag, small, deliberate, a signal to myself. The city hummed outside, alive, indifferent, calling me forward. I wasn't running, I was choosing. My phone buzzed, Julian's name flashing, his voice steady. Claire's moving, she's not done yet. I smiled, bitter, unsurprised. Sharks don't die quietly. What's her play? I asked, already knowing. She's spreading lies, he said, grim. About Michael, about you, trying to take you both down. I thanked him, hung up, my pulse calm, my mind clear. Claire's desperation was her weakness, my weapon. I poured coffee, sat at the dining table, and planned not to destroy, but to finish, to walk away clean. Michael came home early, a rare occurrence, his face drawn, his tie undone. We need to talk, he said, voice rough. I nodded, setting my cup down, my eyes steady. I've been waiting, I replied, no warmth, no fear. He sat across from me, hands clenched, searching my face. What's happened to us, Elise? You're gone. I laughed, soft, sharp, a sound that cut. I'm not gone, Michael, I'm awake, and you're blind. His jaw tightened, guilt and anger warring in his eyes. Is this about Claire? I told you, it's over. I leaned forward, my voice ice. It was never about Claire, it was about you, your lies, your betrayal. He flinched, the truth landing like a blade. I made mistakes, he said, quieter, but I love you. I shook my head, untouched, unmoved. Love doesn't lie, Michael, it doesn't hide, it doesn't break. He reached for my hand, desperate, pleading. I pulled back, my heart a locked door, sealed shut. I'm done, I said, standing, my voice final. Not because of her, because I deserve better. I walked away, left him sitting, his silence louder than words. The air felt lighter, the weight lifting. I didn't hate him, didn't love him, just felt nothing, a clean slate, a new page. That night, I slept alone, the guest room my refuge, the bed unfamiliar but mine. Dreams came, vivid, free. I saw myself running, not from something, but toward it, light, open, boundless. I woke smiling, certain. Julian called again, urgent, his voice tight. Claire's at the firm's gala tonight, she's planning something big. I dressed carefully, black gown, silver heels, my armor polished. Let her try, I said, my resolve steel. The gala was a glittering cage, chandeliers dripping, laughter masking ambition. I walked in, head high, untouchable. Eyes followed me, whispers trailing, Michael's wife, the enigma, the woman who'd changed. I welcomed it. Claire stood across the room, radiant in gold, her smile a challenge. She saw me, her eyes narrowing, predatory. I didn't flinch, didn't hide, I raised my glass, a silent toast, my lips curving, daring her. She crossed the floor, her steps deliberate, her voice low. You think you've won, don't you, Elise? I tilted my head, calm, amused. I don't play to win, Claire, I play to be free, and I am. Her smile faltered, her confidence cracking, my words a mirror she couldn't face. You ruined me, she hissed. No, I said, voice soft, cutting. You ruined yourself, greed, lies, ambition without a soul. She stepped closer, her breath sharp, her eyes wild. I'll tell them everything about you, your games. I laughed, genuine, unafraid. Go ahead, Claire, truth doesn't scare me, but it will bury you. She froze, my certainty her cage, her threats empty air. I turned away, leaving her stranded, powerless. Richard Holt approached, his face stern, his voice warm. Elise, you're a rare one, he said, approving. I smiled, humble, poised. Just trying to keep up, I replied, my heart steady, my mask perfect. He nodded, unaware of my strings, my moves, my victory quiet but complete. I'd reshaped their world. Michael was there, cornered by colleagues. His face strained, his power slipping. He saw me, eyes pleading, lost. I didn't approach, didn't soften, just watched, a spectator to his fall, my heart detached, my soul free. Julian found me, his presence grounding, his smile knowing. She's done, he said, nodding toward Claire. I glanced at her, alone now, her allies gone, her lies unraveling. She was done before I started, I said. Julian raised an eyebrow, curious, respectful. And you? What's next for Elise Carver? I sipped my wine, the question heavy, alive. Not Carver, I corrected, soft, firm. Just Elise. He nodded, understanding, his eyes warm, not pressing. The world's yours, he said, stepping back. I stood taller, the gala fading, the noise dimming. I was no longer bound, no longer small. Claire tried her move later, a whispered rumor to halt, a desperate lie about me, about Michael. It fell flat. Holt dismissed her, his trust in me unshaken, her credibility dust. She'd burned her own bridges. I left the gala early, the night air cool, the city mine. I walked, heels clicking, heart open, alive. My phone buzzed. Sarah, checking in, her voice bright. You're the talk of the town, she teased, proud. I laughed, light, real, the sound foreign but welcome. Let them talk, I said, meaning it. I didn't go home, not to Michael, not to the house, not to the past. I checked into a hotel. Simple, mine. The room was small, the view wide, the skyline a promise. I stood at the window, breathing, whole. Morning came, bright, unyielding, a new day, a new life. I met Margaret Voss for coffee, her idea, not mine. You've changed the game, she said, her eyes kind, sharp. Not many do that and walk away. I stirred my tea, thoughtful, honest. I didn't walk away, I ran, and I'm not stopping. She smiled, approving, her wisdom a gift. Good, don't let them cage you again, she said, parting. I left the cafe, the sun warm, my steps sure. I wasn't caged, wasn't owned, wasn't anyone's shadow. Claire tried one last time, a letter to Michael, copied to me, a venomous plea to expose us both. I read it, unmoved, amused. Her words were frantic, a scream into the void. Nobody listened, nobody cared, her power gone. I didn't respond, didn't need to. She was a ghost, irrelevant, a chapter closed. I burned the letter, watched it curl. Michael called, his voice broken, begging to meet. I need you, he said, raw, desperate, too late. I met him, not for him, for me. A cafe, neutral ground, my terms, my closure, my truth. He looked older, smaller, a man undone. I'm sorry, he started, eyes wet, hands shaking. I held up a hand, stopping him, my voice calm. I don't need your sorry, I don't need you. He stared, wounded, silent, my words a wall he couldn't climb. What now? He asked, voice small. I smiled, faint, free. You live with it, I said, standing, leaving him with his regrets, his ruin. I walked out, the door closing, The past sealed, I didn't look back, didn't need to, didn't want to. Julian offered dinner, not a date, a celebration, his eyes warm, his respect clear. I declined, gentle, firm. Not yet, I said, smiling, meaning it, my life was mine first, before anyone, before anything. He nodded, no pressure, no chase. When you're ready, he said, leaving the door open, unforced. I spent the evening alone, a book, a glass of wine, silence my friend, not my enemy, not my cage. The next day, I signed a lease, a small apartment, high windows, mine, nobody's name but my own. I moved in, boxes light, heart lighter, each step a promise, each choice a victory, small but real. Sarah came by, helped unpack, her laughter filling the space. You're glowing, she said, hugging me. I hugged back, tears pricking, not sad, not lost, alive, found, myself again, myself always. Work called, new paths opening, consulting, freelance, my skills sharp, my name enough, my future wide. I took meetings, shook hands, built something new, not for revenge, not for proof, but for me. Months passed, the city changed, I changed, stronger, softer, both at once, a paradox I loved. Claire faded, a whisper, a warning last I heard, she'd left town, her ambition ash, her story done. Michael tried once more, a letter, handwritten, long, heavy with regret. I didn't read it, didn't need to. I sent it back, unopened, my silence my answer, my freedom my truth, my life my own. I saw Margaret again, a chance meeting, her smile proud. You're a story worth telling, she said, parting. I laughed, shook my head, humble, honest. I'm just Elise, I replied, meaning every word. The mirror in my apartment was new, uncracked, simple, true, it showed me, only me, always me. I stood before it, hair loose, eyes clear, no shadows, no chains, no need for anything but myself. The city stretched beyond my window, endless, open, mine to claim, mine to love, mine to live. I closed my eyes, breathed deep, and smiled. Revenge was sweet, but freedom was sweeter, forever.